Mike, I am so glad to see you and get a chance to talk to you. And every year we talk around this time because,
Yep.
of course, it's the unofficial kickoff to the summer, which means the official kickoff to barbecue season. I got to ask you right off the top, man. First, where are you and how have you been holding up throughout COVID-19?
All right. Well, thank you, Rudy, for having me on your show. Once again, you and I are meeting up during that special time of year where people are bringing out their barbecues and their grills and they're setting up for some great, wicked outdoor activities with food. I've been holding up pretty all right. I mean, the last, what is it, almost 15 months now that we've been kind of living through COVID. A lot of that work I was doing at home, but these days I'm able to kind of get into the Grill Academy by myself here at the Grill Academy, located in Vaughan, Ontario, Canada. Rudy, you know it. This was the place that we would teach night after night after night, bringing people's grill game to the next level. Now we've been doing it virtually, on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram. Weber Grills CA is where we've been bringing the action to the people and engaging. And it's been fun. And so I'm here at the Grill Academy. And I'm grilling up a little special treat for you and I, to have virtually. Yeah, that's right.
Fantastic. Look, let's get into the barbecue business right now because one of the most important things, especially because people are at home now as we speak.
Yep.
We're on lockdown, which is going to be a little bit longer. So people are going, you know what? I'm going to be home. I can't go out anywhere. I want to barbecue at home. There are going to be first timers. There's going to be, professional chefs. What new barbecues can we use to barbecue on? Because I know Weber's always got some great systems to work with.
Yeah. You know it. We
know.
were born out of the 50s from charcoal grilling. In the 80s, we got into the gas grilling and really kind of took over a lot of that. But these days in 2021, it's about smart grilling. It's about taking the guesswork out of your grilling game. It's about having precision results because we all know that food prices are expensive these days. Produce, proteins, and you want to have optimum results each and every time you go to serve that to your family, to your friends. And I know we may not be entertaining heavily in our backyards or our homes these days, but we may have a family member that we're taking care of, and we want to make sure that the food is great. And so I'm talking about smart grilling. Could you imagine taking a Genesis grill that we, brought to life in 1985 and here in 2021, connect a smart grilling attachment to it, that being Weber Connect. And what I mean by that is having a monitoring device on the side of your grill, Rudy, where we're able to monitor the temperature of the grill. We're able to monitor the internal doneness of the food by using probes. And by way of our phone, we're able to just sort of keep track of temperatures and have, again, alerts telling us when our food is even ready to flip. So that's pretty cool.
So that makes it so that you're not messing around a lot with what you're cooking, because one of the things that we've talked about, and we're going to talk about this again today, is people like to poke and squeeze and do all these things. And we're trying to eliminate that because we lose, as I've learned from you, you lose the juices of what the food is supposed to be.
Yeah. We talk about it, you and I, year after year, that I'm not a big fan of poking and prodding of the food or even slashing into it to see if it's of its proper doneness. I like using thermometers and or even a timer. If you know your steak thickness and you've done them so many times, you can get to a point where it's really like 4 minutes aside for a nice medium rare steak if the steak is 1.25 inches. But that's timing. Thermometer checking is where it's at, so by probing into the thickest part of your chicken breast or your steak or your roast, your prime rib roast, you are now looking, minute for minute, second for second, where the temperature is climbing. And then from there with Weber Connect, you even have videos, little vignettes on how to properly season your food. So if you're not into reading, you can be into watching videos. And so again, we used to have a thing called iGrill where it was sort of helping you guide yourself through the grilling. This is like having a little sous chef on your shoulder with Weber Connect, telling you, flip your food, hey, it's ready, pull it off the grill. And then within that, recipes galore. So what I have here, Rudy, and I'm not sure you can see that, is I have our Genesis EX335 with that Weber Connect right here. And under the lid, and always we reach for the lid with grill gloves on. You have to imagine that all parts of the grill are hot. And here, reverse sear, I have a beautiful roast. And would you like me to take you over there? Why don't
Yeah,
we
if you
just
don't
look
mind,
at,
I'd love to get
yeah,
a close look.
of course, you might be able to use that for B-roll. So
Ah,
here we have our beautiful ribeye. All right, bone has been removed, probe has been inserted. Here we have our Weber Connect telling us the temperature of our steak, but the temperature of the grill. Because the lid's open, the temperature is dropping. But here, this burner is turned off, and these burners are on, and all that heat is swirling around the steak. Later on, I'm going to dial up the temperature really hot
uh-huh.
and sear the steak over direct heat. Right now, it just has ambient heat swirling around it, not underneath. Why?
Why?
Because Rudy, it's a thick, thick steak, and I just don't want the outside to be charred while the inside maybe is still trying to get to where it needs to go.
Oh my goodness. I was thinking to myself, that's the enterprise of barbecues. Like that looks so amazing.
Well, I'll take you on a tour again if you like. What we have here is, yes, a gas grill with that wonderful technology, taking the guesswork out of your grill game. Weber Connect even
Mhm.
tells you if you're going to be low on fuel. Oh, can you imagine? Can
Oh,
you
yeah.
imagine having an alert to your phone saying, hey, you might be low on fuel? So over here, we have smoke fire. And what we love about smoke fire is it's a pellet grill, meaning wood pellets go into the hopper at the back.
Wow.
And here, I'll put you back here.
Yeah, I want to hear more about this one too. And the reason why is because I mentioned this earlier. I've been seeing a lot of big people purchasing that particular one this year. Like that seems to be the hot item for barbecues this year.
Well, because it is having world-class barbecue food in your backyard, but without that babysitting or having to monitor it and check on it all the time, because it's feeding the fuel and the flavor, those pellets,
Hmm.
into a fire pot. And from there, the fire pot gives off heat, but it's deflected. So it's not just directed at your food, it's spread out. And over time, you will get a beautiful pulled pork out of that, using a pork shoulder, slow smoking it, a brisket. Ribs are phenomenal on the smoke fire. But why I think people really enjoy it is that it also is a versatile pellet grill, meaning it gets up to hot, hot temperatures, 500 degrees, north of 500 degrees
Wow.
for searing steaks. So a lot of people would buy that and think that they'll have great ribs and slow and low cooks, but you can also have fantastic results on the burgers, the steaks, the chops.
So here's the thing, because of course I'm still a novice to this, and I'm always learning from
No,
you.
you aren't.
So we, so we've always talked about charcoal. We've
Yeah.
talked about gas. Is this
Yeah.
sort of like a third choice?
Wow. Yes. How about that? In the category of grilling, yes, there was charcoal. We all remember charcoal way back in the 50s. That's really where it took storm. And then in the 80s, gas grilling kind of became the thing.
Mhm.
Convenience. People love coming home on a Wednesday night and firing it up and being able to get food out quickly. Flavor's a little different than charcoal. But then pellet grilling. Over the last 20 years, pellet grilling has really taken people by storm as well. And so now Weber, whether it be charcoal, gas, now pellet, we can be there with you in that backyard experience. Why not?
That's amazing. Look, you said you had something you wanted to show me too, because you had some cooking going. Yeah, you got the bowl in your head. What's happening right now?
Okay, well, you know that when I'm doing a big old, ribeye steak like we have on the grill behind me,
Mhm.
when it's done, I'm going to give it a rest under some foil. But this is going to be compound butter. So what I have here is a bowl of butter.
Ooh,
Be
yeah.
faint. And then here, a little bit of shallot. Okay, if you don't have shallot, a little bit of minced onion would be just fine. All
Mhm.
right, green onion would do. I'm going to add a little bit of shallot to this, and then fresh herbs, whatever you have in the fridge. Okay, I had
Ooh.
some rosemary, some thyme, some chives. All of this got minced up, and we'll go into the butter bowl. And then look, as weird as it might sound, how about a little bit of Parmesan cheese? Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
All
Yeah,
right, a
yeah.
little bit of parm, a little bit of pepper, and then from here, Rudy, that's a lot of butter and a lot of ingredients for one steak. That's because I'm going to mash and mix this up together and roll it into a log using a little bit of parchment paper. And then when I have, a little bit of fish that I want a quick little saucy component, I can cut a coin of this rolled up butter and place it over the steak, the fish, the chicken, and it's just this really quick thing that you keep in your fridge for a
Oh,
sauce, you know?
that's amazing.
Yeah, you
Absolutely
know,
amazing. As you're preparing that right now, I want to go back to some of the questions we usually talk about on,
yes.
you're getting your barbecue. We just talked about purchasing barbecues, but if you have a Weber barbecue at home and you're
Yeah.
pulling it out for the first time for the season, what are some of the things that you need to check on, look at, just to make sure you got things prepared properly?
Well, I gotta say, a lot of people, yes, are pulling out their grills for the season, but being where we live here in the Great White North, some of us are year-round grillers. And so when I suggest people are pulling out their grill, make sure you give a good inspection inside the cook box. You probably put it away nice and clean. I hope you did.
Mhm.
But if you didn't, make sure that you get in there and with just a putty scraper, plastic putty scraper, get in there, scrape the walls of your cook box down, take a nice bristle brush and go over your burners and make sure they're not plugged up or any debris in there as well. From there, you could take some hot soapy water to it, but nothing, heavily chemically charged, and just kind of clean it out. Make sure there are no bugs or spiders that have
Yeah.
decided to make a home within your burners. At Weber, we're very proud that we've, for years, have put little mesh screens around components of our grill to mitigate that whole spider wanting to make a home in your barbecue. So give an inspection. And if you're really concerned about like leakage of gas, or if you have like a liquid propane hookup, take some soapy water and just go over the hose. And when you turn on your gas and you turn on your burner, if you see any bubbles develop, well, then you might have a hole in a hose and you want to replace that. So yeah, it's always good to give a good inspection before you get into that heavy season of grilling. And then how about this? Treat your grill like an indoor appliance. Clean it. Make sure that it's you're ready to go each and every time. Don't let stuff sit in there. You'll get years and years out of your grill if you keep it clean.
I'm just curious, can you still use people? And I know I've done it. You put tinfoil over the grills on the inside. Do people still do that, or did they stop doing that? Do you just, grill just the way it is?
I I always clean my grill. I'll preheat my grill. I'll use a
Mhm.
nice bristle brush to clean it. I always inspect my bristle brush before I use it,
Yeah.
and then from there, I guess what I'm saying is the tinfoil trick. I worry about overheating inside of your grill and other components frying out from such excess, because I think that's what it does. No, it
Yeah.
accelerates the heat within your cook box. I would be just worried that some of those components would get overheated. That's all.
Okay, so no, no, no on that. Let's go over to, and you mentioned it earlier, but I want to go over again because I want to make sure it's clear for people. The differences, since now we've got the big three. What's
Yeah,
the difference having charcoal? What's the difference between having gas? And then, as you mentioned earlier, the chips. What is the
yeah,
difference when it comes to flavor in your food? And
yeah.
what meats or foods are the best for charcoal, gas, and chips?
Very good. Okay. Well, with charcoal grilling, I grew up in a home where my grandfather was all about charcoal grilling, and that woodsy aroma that you get, that char on your food from charcoal grilling, it's very, it's a smoky aroma. And with that, it pairs nicely with, steaks and burgers and chicken and chops, even pork tenderloin, really nice,
Mm.
as well as pork shoulder. Charcoal is this fantastic flavor that really goes with so many robust foods as well. Maybe not so much with the desserts, but then moving into the gas. Well, now it's like having an outdoor oven. You're able to do by setting up burner configurations. You're able to bake inside of your grill without having lots of woodsy aroma on your baked breads. Maybe you don't want lots of woodsy aroma on your baked desserts. You eat cake. We do cakes in the grill all the time. Pies. We want to make sure that we don't maybe have those be smoky. So there's where gas benefits, and not to mention the convenience, the ease, the fast preheat, that sort of thing. Charcoal takes a few extra minutes because you're lighting up a chimney of charcoal to get it going. But
Mhm.
then we roll into pellet, and that's where pellet grilling, our pellet grill, the smoke fire, it's really nice for your ribs, your slow and low cooks, the brisket that's going to take 12, 14 hours, the pork shoulder that will take 9 to 10 hours, ribs, whether they be beef or pork. Um, I like doing smoked salmon on my pellet grill. It's a mild smoke flavor, but gives me great crust and color on my salmon, particularly on a cedar plank. So they all have a home in my backyard. Though some people may not, need a gas grill. Maybe they're a purist and love their charcoal. Maybe somebody wants that backyard barbecue that they don't need to babysit with smoke fire. So it really is a grill for your lifestyle. And heck, if you're not into any of that and you just love to just go all the time, you can get a portable grill too. We have this fantastic new grill called the Traveler. So wherever you want to go, you can take great backyard barbecue with you.
That's
You know?
amazing. You know, you talked about lifestyle. Lifestyle has been changing. The word vegan has been very popular for the last couple of years too.
Yep.
If you're vegan and you want to barbecue, what are the good things that you can use? I mean, we have these amazing, like, non-meat products going on. Some are good, some aren't. What would you suggest in the vegan world?
Wow. Well, in the vegan world, I really like grilled vegetables. I love I love smoking a brick of tofu. You can take a firm brick of tofu, extra firm that is, maybe marinate it in a little teriyaki and then slow smoke it on your grill. And I find that my vegetarian and vegan friends enjoy some of that food, but it's colorful and it's undeniable, that aroma of on the grate coming into contact with your food. Now, I'm not sure if the Impossible Burger is a vegan, check on a vegan list, but I do find those tasty. But again, I'm not sure that really quantifies as or qualifies as a vegan dish. But are you vegan, by the way, Rudy?
No, especially after watching you barbecuing for the last year. I mean, I'm just like, it's tough, man, because your food is always looking great, which is what we're kind of preparing right now for. So it's kind of tough for me to go completely vegan.
Well, I'll tell you, I do enjoy a meatless Monday. All right,
Mhm.
in my work week, I find that where I work, there is no shortage of, shall we call them, the meat sweats, and so
Yes.
meatless Monday followed up by, you know, uh, maybe a turkey Tuesday with a wheatless Wednesday. I don't know.
Okay, so
Um,
while you're preparing this, let's talk about some of the mistakes that we do. We kind of talked about earlier about poking and probing. What are the things that we should not be doing to our meats as we're preparing it and as we're cooking this?
how about this? When I took that steak to the grill earlier, I patted it down dry, so no moisture was on the outside of it. No, water or bloody water or anything like that. I don't want any moisture because I don't want it to steam on the grill. What I
Mhm.
did do was slather it with a little bit of oil, which will help caramelize the meat, but not make it go gray and uninviting. With the more color you get on the food, the more flavorful it's going to be. And so from there, when I place it onto a properly preheated grill, because we never underestimate the
Yes.
importance of a properly preheated grill, at least 10 to 15 minutes, make sure it's nice and piping hot, get your food on and close the lid. Why? Because when you close the lid, Rudy, we're trapping in flavor and aromas. Like, look at this smoke that's happening here. We want to capture that under the lid with our wonderful steak. And I'm going to take you over there again.
Okay, here we go.
All right. And you're going to see that we have the flames are
Oh,
kissing. All right.
and that was
And
just a
that's,
short time too.
yeah. Oh, yeah. So, well, I'll say it's a longer process to do a reverse sear steak, but at the end
Mhm.
of it, what you'll have is a better inside doneness with a lovely crust on the outside, which I'm doing right now. And the crust is only because I'm using the sear station within that EX335 Genesis, baby.
Oh.
I'm just getting a minute aside over the sear station to give me a wonderful crust, okay? And then when we slice into it, it'll be beautiful crust and then medium rare, And I'm going to know it's medium rare because of the Weber Connect right here telling me the temperature right now of our steak is floating around 112 degrees. When it
Wow.
gets up to 125,
Mhm.
well, I'm going to take it off, tent it, and the residual heat will carry it up to medium rare 135. Crazy,
Amazing. Crazy.
crazy.
We talked about, vegan food and other different types of food. And again, because this is 2021, it's almost to the point where if you told me you were barbecuing ice cream, I would believe it. What are some of the items that people don't think about to barbecue? You mentioned about vegetables, which is slowly becoming very popular, but what other things can you barbecue that taste really good that people probably wouldn't even think of?
Holy moly. We do it a lot. I think something recently that we did on tour when we were traveling across Canada with our Weber trucks and Damien, who's also a grill master here, we were doing chocolate lava cakes every night on tour. So we were chocolate lava cakes on the grill. And then one year we were doing lemon meringue pie on the grill. So baking the pie tart, the pie shell, and then using a side burner, making the lemon curd, and then pouring it into the pie crust. And then with an egg white top, we would bake that, and it would turn out just as though you'd baked it in your kitchen. So
Wow.
whether it be pies, loaves of bread, wonderful desserts, those are always usually eye-opening. A lovely pineapple cake hot off the grill always makes people excited when you flip it out in front of them. But how about this, Rudy? Whatever you can do in your kitchen, the one you have today, that stove top and oven, a lot of that stuff, those recipes can be transferred to a grill once you learn the indirect versus direct cooking. Indirect is how we began the steak, no burner turned on beneath. And then direct is what we're doing right now with the steak. And I'm going to pull it off because it's that time. All right. Yes.
I need to reach out through the screen.
No doubt. And I need to take a picture of this. It looks so good. This is how we do it here. You're going to be a part of my next post.
Oh my gosh, that looks so good.
Right. But
yeah, you see, that was me trying to grab at it. Can I see the bottom? Can you see the bottom of it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, perfect.
Yeah. And so the reverse here, lovely. I want to just leave it under some tinted tin foil, because if I cut into that right now, for everybody watching, we would watch so much precious juice come out of our steak, and we would be left with halfway through the eating of it, a dry steak. And so here, let it kind of calm down, which is a great opportunity for us to hit it with a little bit of that compound butter.
Yes.
And it'll melt over top. It'll be that simple. All right. And that's all we do. We just kind of let the tinfoil, the butter melt together. This is actually kind of sad, because normally I'd want to feed you this.
Person, and I'd want to eat.
Yes. You know. So with that, how long do people rest their food for? A steak of that thickness, Rudy, I would want it to just hang out for another 8 minutes under the foil. We pulled it off when it was around 125 degrees. And so now it's going to, on its own, climb another 10. All right.
Okay. You realize 8 minutes is an eternity for people who see a steak like that. You realize that, right?
I've been living that for my entire career. It's hard to explain to people the importance of a rest time when you're sitting there in front of them. Having said that, is this television and we just accelerate?
Yes.
All right, let me grab a plate. 2 seconds here.
And as you're grabbing that plate too, you know, the best place to go to, of course, is the Weber Academy. And right now, because as we talk about with the pandemic going on, things have been closed down. But once things do open up, what are some of the things that people can learn when they take part in the Weber Academy?
Beautiful question. We always, our classes when it comes to smoking food, like brisket, pork shoulder, around Thanksgiving, Christmas time, we'll do turkey. Those ones are always so fast to sell out. People just want to know the nuances and the tips and tricks on how to smoke their food. But we also have the back to basics, burgers, steaks, flatbreads. All of these can be done on the grill, and we offer up that class. It always sells out. And then we have these other classes where we, you know, maybe devoted to the love of desserts, or vegetarian night, you know, where we just do vegetarian items, you know. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Can't say it enough, for those doors to open again. Yeah, those doors over there. And people come back here and we have fun with people face to face, because as much as this is nice, Rudy, you and I speaking together this way, and I do cherish these times, I can't wait to see you in person.
Same here. Just so you know, because every year we do this, I keep saying I'm going to come down, never get a chance to do it. I actually made a list of things over COVID that I said I am going to do.
Please tell me I was on it.
You're on the list, my friend. On that, I want to be a master. I want to be a master like you and the rest of the folks who have gone through the school. So I will be there when the doors are opening.
I appreciate that, and you know that there'll be a place here waiting for you, a nice stool, and with that, a wonderful menu, and maybe, just maybe, we'd prepare something delicious like this. I'm slicing into it right now, Rudy. Okay, I'm slicing into the wonderful beef,
and it seems like it's like butter. You're just cutting right through so easy.
Oh my gosh, I wish you could see here. How about that? And then
Oh,
what I'm doing here is I am just cutting through it like it's effortless,
oh.
and it's so melty, and the butter has done its part. And from
This is
here,
cruel.
I
Cruel.
know there's something wrong about this, but then I will take just a little bit here, Rudy, and we know that the taste is in the test. All right, or is it
Do
the
it, my
test is
friend.
in the taste? All right.
Do it.
Mm.
Ah.
Yes. Oh, wow. It's a happy day. That I'm telling you, I'm not worried about the doneness because everything's talking to my phone. You can be out doing gardening. You can be out having a conversation with somebody and still have your eye on the prize. And last but not least, you asked me about the commandments of top 10
Yes.
commandments of cooking,
Yeah.
grilling. Looking isn't cooking. Keep a lid on it. Trap the aromas in there. You'll get a better cook at the end of the day, less dry food, and more aroma trapped on your food and not to the great outdoors. Okay?
Amazing. Mike,
Yeah,
thank you so much
no problem.
for this interview and taking time to cook for us, to teach us once again about how to handle our barbecues and being grill masters or hoping to become grill masters and just enjoying the summer of the season of barbecue. Even though we're all dealing with COVID-19, the pandemic, doesn't mean that we can't be out in our backyards or wherever we are and be able to have meals like that. Looks amazing.
Absolutely. You said it, Rudy. Get out there, everybody. Enjoy the fresh air, whether it be in the backyard, side yard, front yard, but make sure you got something grilling on the go. All right.
Fantastic. Mike, thanks again, my friend.
You're welcome, Rudy. You have a great summer. Okay.
I definitely will.